see anything, Jamie. There we are.
There we are.
Hey, welcome back to another show. It's the Billy Merritt Show. Today's Monday. It's the Monday Morning Money Show. I want to talk about numbers. I always like talking about numbers. I like talking about big numbers. Joey, you're a numbers guy.
I am.
You like and understand numbers. You can remember numbers well.
I can.
Do you know how many cell phone users there are on the planet?
5 billion.
5 billion. That is a very good guesstimation, and you're really close. I think it's 5 billion. Maybe 5 billion 150 million, but who's counting a few hundred million?
That's right.
It's kind of like the rescue bailout stimulus package.
Much like.
So here's how you know that things have gone awry. When they tell you a number and they just estimate 100 million, like they round up 100 million. I'm sorry.
Like it means nothing.
I'm sorry. 100 billion. Excuse me. See, these numbers are so big I can't even. I'm making mistakes. $100 billion. So they said that the Biden rescue stimulus package was $2 trillion.
Right.
When in fact it was 1.9 trillion. So they're just throwing an extra 100 billion in there.
Like 10% of $1 trillion is not much.
Like 100 billion is not much. Like until just a couple of years ago, the richest person on the planet had less than $100 billion net worth.
Right.
Like I think there's only one person over 100, maybe two now with Elon Musk. Regardless, it's all about the numbers. So Moses, you're an animal.
Yes, you are.
Dory's going to the bank with checks. We like it when UPS men brings checks. That's like a highlight of the show when they bring checks. So back to the text messaging, back to cell phone users. How many people have a cell phone on the planet, Joey?
5,150,000,000. 5
billion. Now, how many people have a Facebook account? Do you know the answer to that?
Facebook is. I don't.
You're about to say really close, about 2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the population of the United States?
375 million.
Close.
365, something in there.
325, 350 million, 325 million, 350 million.
Right.
Okay. So 2 billion people with a Facebook account. That's a big number.
That is.
How many times is that?
6.
6 times. There's 6 times as many people with a Facebook account as there are
in the United States.
Population, total people in the United States. That's correct. That's pretty crazy.
That is.
So the reason I bring that up is this is a money show, and I want to talk to you about money. If you need to monetize, you think it'd be more lucrative for you to monetize the 200 or 350 million Americans, or monetize the 7 billion people on the planet?
7 billion people.
For sure. I mean, you could probably get a penny from each one, and we could do the math and say
better than $1 from
each.
Everybody in the United States.
So in the United States, the 300 and we'll call it 350 million people, 70% of them have a Facebook account.
Correct.
100% of them have a cell phone.
Yes.
So I'm going to go after and serve the 350 million.
Yes.
They all have a cell phone. So what we need to be doing is what?
Texting.
We need to be texting them. SMS text. That means you have 350 million people that you can talk to. And there's tons of ways in which you can start receiving text messages from people.
Yes.
The simplest way is to offer something of value for them to text you about.
So you got to make a big offer.
You need to make a big offer for sure. Yeah. So how about a free oil change for a text? How about a free car wash for a text? How about a savings voucher for a text? Mm-hmm. This is important, people. You're missing so Joey, how long have you been in the car business?
Give or take 20 years.
20 years. 20 years ago, how did the average dealership reach customers? How did they acquire new customers?
Put an ad in the newspaper.
Okay. So What else?
Radio,
Newspaper, radio,
TV.
TV. Okay. And how's that changed? Fast forward to 2020. We just had a stellar year in the vendor business. How's advertising changed?
It's all gone digital.
It's all gone digital. Facebook is a huge one. 4 years ago, we were waving the Facebook flag saying Facebook is the way, Facebook is the way. And a lot of people, I'm not so sure about that. Get off of Facebook and get to work.
Yeah.
Kind of got a lot of those comments. So then they figured out that everything we were doing on Facebook was work and was working. So now we have a lot of people out here on Facebook in the Facebook advertising realm with us. Media buyers. You have media buyers buying hundreds of millions of dollars a month in media ads on Facebook.
That's right.
And it's effective and it's important. And we use Facebook Messenger. However, Joey, how would you rate the effectiveness of text message selling versus Facebook Messenger selling?
Text message selling is way better.
Way better. Why?
Because you own the property. You own the data.
You own the data. That is true. So I made a post earlier today about the things that DigiNinja Text platform can do for people. Mm-hmm. And one of them was reach people in a contactless, that's the way you say that, mm-hmm. a contactless method.
Right.
Okay. Jamie's trying to find that for us. There it is. Conduct business in a way that's contactless and mm-hmm. convenient.
Right. So it's safe.
So 20 years ago, you had a newspaper ad. What's the call to action in the newspaper ad?
Save money.
Okay, that's your big offer. Mm-hmm. The call to action would be
call us.
Call us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they call and they get on the phone with somebody who doesn't have phone skills. Deal blown. So maybe the call to action is come see us. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then they come see you. You got a chance to. And I remember I used to live by this philosophy because I didn't understand. This is the kind of information I had. Sell them while they are here.
Right.
If you let them walk out the door, you're never going to see them
never
again. Never coming back. So it was all or nothing. Mm-hmm. And, we survived and thrived in that time. But how much better is it for the customer, the salesperson, and the dealership to do it in a convenient way through text message? And now I still have this conversation, this way to contact this person and reach this person and let them know about future offers.
It's millions of times better.
Millions of times big. Okay. So let me tell you about some of the things. I'm a research guy. I like to dive into something and study it. So I've studied text message selling. I've studied people who use text. By the way, there's only a couple of platforms out there that offer lead generation through text message, lead management through text message, lead mm-hmm. conversion, and it has reports to show you the performance of the people that you have running these systems. There's only a couple of them. Only like 2 or 3 text message platforms out there.
Right.
Now, I prefer DigiNinja. And I will put DigiNinja up against any other text message platform out there with reports and numbers, ease of use,
design. Yeah.
Design, the flow, the intuitiveness.
Good word.
That's a great word. Okay. So, but during my research, I found out that customers hate being ignored.
They do.
So if you have you need a text number, by the way. You need a way for customers to text you. So go ahead and get that. You can get it from me or you can get it from another company, but you need a text number out there where people can text you. But then when they actually text you, you need to have a what?
You need to have a live person to answer the text.
A real person to answer that text. Customers hate being ignored. Now there's actually companies that teach how to set up SMS auto replies. Now I'm not totally against that. If it's 4 a.m. in the morning,
right,
and I don't have anybody in the call center working, I'm going to use an autoresponder. Mm-hmm. We have autoresponders that kick in about midnight. From midnight to 6 a.m., we use autoresponders. Other than that, we're using real people.
Yes.
Because customers hate being annoyed, and they hate talking to robots too. The percentage of highly annoyed customers, okay, this is research put out by a Harvard graduate, very smart guy. Can I get a live person on the phone? 75% of those polled said that they were highly annoyed when they could not get a real person on the phone. So, Mr. Dealer, or you know what? Maybe I'm talking to the salesperson right there. Get you a text number. Get you a number that people can text into. Better yet, Joey,
Yes.
what happens when someone texts my business? I'm sorry, when someone calls my business number?
It goes to a text message.
That's the end goal. But when you called my number, you know, I switched numbers this morning.
Yes.
The first time you called,
Got an answer machine.
you got a voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
Machine kind of sounds like
Okay.
AI or something.
Yeah.
You had Billy on the phone.
I did have Billy on the phone
saying, "Hey, I'm a little tied up right now doing this live show. Leave me a message and I'll call you right back, or simply text this number."
Right.
Okay. So when you called that number back, you're right. It came straight to me. When you text that number, it came straight to me. Now I have a real conversation that's not going away with me and Joey.
That's right.
You need to be able to your text number, and there's a way to do this. You can message me later to find out. When someone texts you, they need to also be able to call you on that number, and it needs to be able to be managed by multiple people. If you were to call my number right now, Chad will probably answer the phone.
Yes.
A live person, a live talented person. You don't need this people going off into space or being answered by AI. You need real people answering your stuff when possible. So people hate being ignored, and they absolutely hate when they can't get a real person on the telephone. People are very annoyed. This is a no-brainer. Common sense right here. When customer service is rude or condescending, I mean, that's, you know, let's at least be nice. And
Right. They've taken their time to call you and try to give you some money, and then somebody's mean to them or condescending.
That would be highly
bad
if they're disconnected. So that's a great point. That's where technology is very important.
Mm-hmm.
When you called, you tried to get disconnected from me. You hung up the phone, but I still had your phone number and I had your name.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is some very smart technology out there. That, by the way, is 100% in what's the proper word? It follows the rules.
Compliant.
It's very compliant.
It is
with all the national and state
and federal,
and local
county. It'd be local
precincts across the nation. Legal beagle is what it is. You need to be legal beagle. Make sure you're legal beagle. Okay, so say you're disconnected and you call back, and now you're back at the very beginning process again. That's silly.
It is.
If I just talk to Billy and I call Billy's number back, why won't Billy answer the phone? It's because they have bad technology. You need technology that's smart. That's going to, if you call me, you're going to get me. If I'm on the phone, you're going to get my voicemail. If my voicemail doesn't pick up, somebody in the room with me is going to answer the phone. That's very important.
It is.
I don't think we have to go through all of these. Company doesn't provide or hides the customer service phone number. So we're on the world's most, thank you, John Fairchild. See, I love having smart people follow this show because sometimes I'm a very studied person, John, but I'm not always the smartest person in the room. So I need people with big vocabularies like John to help me make sure that I get those words right. Compliant. We are very compliant, John. Thank you. Appreciate you. But anyway,
another one of those, didn't mean to cut you off there, but another one of those is big in that it says that they hate getting to someone who can't help them or that doesn't have the right information.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I've noticed on AI a lot too, is that, you know, hold on and I'll get you connected with somebody on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, I don't have that information, but I'll get somebody on my team to give you a call.
Yeah.
You got to have the information.
You better have the information. But it goes hand in hand what I was saying. The company doesn't provide or hides the customer service phone number. The reason they would do that is because they don't have the answers, or that they don't value your complaints. Mm-hmm. They don't value your problem. When I'm having a problem, I want to get somebody on the phone.
Right.
So the world's largest and most successful social media network doesn't have a phone number that you can call.
No.
You have to send out emails and messages and lots of things.
Signals. And,
yeah. Now, if you spend a few $1 million, right around $2 million, they will give you a representative to help you and that, I'm using help,
air quotes,
because those people they usually get on the phone with us and we know more than them. So, that's what number 5 on the let's go back, James. You'll just show it to me. You don't have to show it to the audience, just so that I can tell you, you want to conduct business in a way that's contactless and convenient. You want to grow your lead list on autopilot and track where they came from. So it's very important that when Jamie calls, I know Jamie, his name, his number, his address, where he's from, those type of things. So that's important. I want to fast forward to number 5, which is the most important reason you need to be using smart technology. That's not, I'll just read it. You need to own your own customer relationships with no dependency on big tech.
Correct.
Big tech could shut me down right now. As a matter of fact, they're probably suppressing this video because we're saying the names like big tech and using big numbers. You can see, you can look at a video and the contents of that video and look at the viewership, and you can tell which ones are going to get. There's words that we could say right now that would get us automatically deleted.
Yes.
There's letters.
Names.
There's letters in the alphabet that I could say.
Would be done.
If we had a young child on here that we were bragging and showing off her saying her alphabets,
we could get cut off.
When she hit a certain letter, they would just cut her off.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, we're going to see some new networks pop up, some new servers. I don't have an Onion browser, but I've been looking at one because I feel like there's going to be some TV shows and some news outlets on these other browsers that are not so compliant with the laws of the land. But I think we're going to see a lot of people switching over to that. You may see it on mainstream media because let me tell you something. A lot of people I don't know anybody who likes being suppressed.
I don't either.
So if you're a big group of people and you're being suppressed,
you're gonna push out.
You're gonna push back. Absolutely will. So it's important to us that we own our customer relationship. So since you text me this morning and Jamie and Dorian, we had a lot of customers text me in this morning. I have that information. I have your phone numbers. I know who you are. I have that conversation and I can always go back to it. And it doesn't matter. Once you text me, I have that. I own that information. I own that data.
Nothing can go down and you lose that data.
That's correct. Now, which is, this is a money show. So let me explain to you how money works with big tech. I know I'm suppressing myself. I keep saying that, but that's okay. Here's how look at the viewership. Yep, I said that. Okay, so those of you who are able to see this, here's how it works. If you are advertising, if you're using a product that a lot of people use, like the world's most successful social network, and you're not paying for it, then you are the product. They have your information. They have your conversations. They have
your view, what you look for,
what you like. Hey, by the way, here's a Facebook tip for you, Facebook marketing tip. I see a lot of businesses, and I used to do this. I used to do it 4 years ago, where I would help a business with their marketing, and I would try to build their fan base, build the likes, right?
Yeah.
And I just recently, I saw 2 different companies who were asking for people to go like their page. That's a futile effort. It doesn't matter how many likes you have. They're not going to show it to them anyway, unless you pay for it.
That's right.
And by the way, the like button is about to go away. The like button on business pages is about to go away.
That's right.
So
those companies that have spent so much money, Coca-Cola,
Nike,
to get 5-10 million likes, now they lose all of them.
You will still be able to follow a page, but it won't show that you like the page. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. They want you to spend money with them so that they can advertise to your audience. So you're building the audience for them. If you spend money on here, then you're the customer. If you do not spend money on
the product,
you are the product. You are the product. They are selling your information. Yes. Absolutely. So, and some people say they're listening. I won't go down that rabbit hole right now, but a lot of people think they are.
Yeah.
How many people like to be on hold for a long time? Nobody?
Nobody.
Jose doesn't mind it. Jose Santiago, he said money, money, money. Jose will stay on hold for 30 minutes if there's $10 at the end of that.
You're dedicated.
He is dedicated. He's
Discipline.
dedicated. He'll hold as long as it takes.
Yep.
How long would you be willing to hold your breath, Jose, for $100,000? How long could you hold your breath?
Me? Minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes.
I think I could work myself up to 10 minutes. There was, some big money.
And how long of a period we have to train for this?
David Blaine told Joe Rogan that after one session of him coaching him, he could hold his breath up to 5 minutes.
How long is this session?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. 45 minutes in the sauna yesterday was a little much.
What, 215 degrees?
I got it to 220 one time. Jose said he long enough to pass out, but not long enough to die. Once you pass out, that's not up to you anymore, though, Jose. You just can only hope that your body's going to start back breathing, and it will. Your body has one job:
Stay alive.
stay alive.
It's your brain's one function. Keep you alive.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Your brain sometimes does dumb things, but your instinct is to stay alive.
Well, your brain has. That's what. It's what the function of fear is.
Mm-hmm. So people get annoyed when they get a sales pitch that's unrelated to goods or services. So many times we see on chat when we test other people's chat that we'll ask a question and we'll get the answer to a different question.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lack of intelligence when it comes to programming their AI.
Well, it's humans having to program AI.
If you're going to use AI, at least program it well. Okay. I want to, we have a lot of demos, a lot of customers waiting on us to talk to them, Joey. So I want to fast forward to the end of this message. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Into this video. We're going to do the end first.
It works for me.
Okay. Back to big numbers. $3 trillion. That's about how much money we've spent on, we'll say rescue and stimulus this year. It could go right on up way past, they're trying to solve problems. See, I'm watching problem solving while I'm trying to do a show. Mm-hmm. I need a different screen.
You split screen.
I do. So $3 trillion. That's how much money we've spent so far on this rescue, stimulus, CARES Act, etc. this year. Some people say it's 5 or 6, but I know for a fact that everybody will agree that we've already spent at least $3 trillion.
Okay.
That's huge.
That's in the last 12 months. I'm
going to play devil's advocate. Welcome to Devil's Advocate, where Billy takes on the role of the other side. So I am tired, devil's advocate. I am tired of rescuing the rich and increasing the net worth of the richest people on the planet, while the common folk and the middle class and the poor people struggle the worst and get punished. But Colby says markets are closed. I'm bored. I know, but Colby, pay attention. This is pretty good right here. Now, Colby will he's going to be on the show. He's going to come on the show because I always bring experts, and Colby's a health and fitness expert. Mm-hmm. And he's very articulate. He is very intelligent. We need to have like a live IQ test, mm-hmm. and like all of us take an IQ test live on the show, and just to compare. Not that it means anything, but right. I mean, I could probably come in last place.
I'd probably battle for last.
So anyway, I want to have Colby on the show, but pay attention, Colby. You'll have an opinion about this, Colby. Everybody has an opinion, right? Mm-hmm. So we squandered. I don't even know if that's the right word. We wasted $3 trillion. We gave it to.
Are you done being a devil's advocate now?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna be devil's advocate, but point out that maybe the devil's right in this one.
Okay.
Or at least maybe I'm going to change my own mind here, because this is a compelling argument. Okay. PPP. Mm-hmm. Lots of people got PPP. I got PPP for this
right.
My company.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get as much as some people, but I used that PPP. I had to pay people's salaries, right? So I had to continue to pay salaries. They allowed me to pay rent and electricity. Mm-hmm. Okay. I got quite a bit. It wasn't hundreds of thousands, but it was quite a bit. I know people who got hundreds. I know some small businesses that got millions, right?
Right.
Why didn't we just take $3 trillion and give every adult in the United States $15,000?
Because the economy wouldn't have been helped by doing that.
That is wrong, Joey. The economy, here's how an economy works. The economy is based on growth and the production of goods and services. Okay, so hold on. The whole purpose of giving people $600 checks and $1,200 checks is to promote spending, because we live in a consumer economy. So they've admitted, both sides, left and right, okay, have already admitted that giving people $600 and giving people $1,200 is a good thing for the economy.
Okay.
So if giving them $1,200 is good for the economy, why don't we just give every adult in the United States $15,000? Because we're going to spend that money and it will impact the economy now. More goods and services bought. More restaurants, if you can get to them, bought.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Do you think that'd be a better idea? Colby, what do you think? Should we have just given every adult $15,000 as opposed to giving companies, corporations, tax breaks, and loans that don't have to be paid back by them? PPP is going to be paid back.
Sure it is.
By our children. So what if everybody that was 18 years and older got $15,000? If you're going to have to pay it back, at least you should get to spend it.
Okay. So, but that's not going to keep the businesses open.
Why? It's not going to keep the businesses open. Nope. Which business?
A restaurant.
A restaurant? Yeah. If
nobody can go to it, because it was done for the shutdown. If nobody can go to it because everything's shut down, you got to stay at home. Having $15,000 at home is only going to help Amazon.
Okay, so that's a good point. But $15,000. Let's just say that me and you and April and Jamie, we all got $15,000. I guarantee you that's $30,000 for my household. I'm going to go to the restaurant. Bye, and I'm going to support that restaurant.
You can if we can go to one, but if everything's shut down, we couldn't go to one.
I've been since the pandemic. This past year, I've been to Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Louisiana,
I've been to
Mississippi, Texas, Florida, and Jamaica.
I've been to Nevada.
I ate at restaurants in every single one of those.
Been in Nevada, Utah, Texas.
Did they kick you out of any restaurant?
No.
Were you able to eat at a restaurant?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just saying that it may have been a better idea to pay $3 trillion to the population.
Adult population, right?
The adult population. Because can we all agree that the middle class and the poor people got hurt the worst from COVID?
Yes.
Okay. So what better way can we help them back than by giving them a check? If you take a poor family, that, by the way, 25% of the population, 25% of families in the United States in December reported that they couldn't meet their food budget for the month.
Wow.
So I'm not saying that everybody would have been, I'm not saying that gambling wouldn't have increased. And I'm not saying that frivolous spending would not have increased. If it did increase, that's good for the economy, by the way. But if it, a lot of people are going to waste the money, but at least they had the money,
right.
Give the families. I would like to see how that played out. Maybe we'll get a chance to do that in the future, because I feel like with this tremendous debt crisis that we're facing, there's going to be somebody's going to pay it back, and every boom ends in a bust.
That's right.
So when we have to start over again, I think we might get a chance to try it that way. Let's see what Colby said. Colby said, put it up on the screen for me, Jamie. We should have mandated at 80% of your salary guaranteed. I almost slipped back into my side and jumped off the devil's advocate for a second. We should have mandated an 80% of your salary guaranteed. Your employee must keep you on payroll to help provider insurance and keep your 401k and all those benefits we enjoy. Way easier than having to rehire and retrain employees. Well, that's kind of what we did, because we had to keep people on payroll, to get the first PPP. 401k. I don't know. It's hard. I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but it's real hard for me to jump on board with that, Colby, that we should have, the employer should continue to pay for their 401k if they're working. Here's the problem. There never should have been a rescue package.
Completely correct.
Okay. So I'm done with the devil's advocate.
Right.
All right. This is Billy back. Free market capitalism is the best solution.
Yes.
Free market capitalism, if you produce, you get paid. If you produce goods and services, you get paid. If you don't produce goods and services, you don't get paid. Right. And then the wealthiest among us, the most generous and the most charitable, would take care of the people that can't take care of themselves.
I heard a statistic last night that the people in the United States that make the least money are also the most giving.
They make the what?
Least money are the most giving.
Where did you read that?
I heard it.
Okay, you heard it. Because I would argue, I would draw a sand, I draw a land. You got me so upset.
It says one political party makes less money than the other political party, but that one political party is also the most giving.
You're playing devil's advocate now, because I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe for a minute. I think beyond a shadow of doubt, the most generous people I know are very wealthy.
No, okay. Political party. So there are people that are wealthy in both political parties.
Right.
But one political party is much more giving than the other political party, but yet they don't make as much money as the other political party.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I'd like to see that. All right, Colby. First of all, let's look Robert Brooker. Good morning. There's now single event online betting. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate the update. That's similar to what we got going on here, but it took a while to get it going. Gotcha. Colby says, Billy, unfortunately, you are speaking from personal experience. You are giving and take care of yours. Just a thought to consider. Yeah, but Colby, now this is where it's going to be, I guess we need to do a lot of research, because I feel like, Colby, most people are good. Most people are giving, and given the opportunity to do the right thing, most people do the right thing. Is that naive?
Sometimes maybe.
Could be, because if you go to Mexico, I asked Jamie about his trip to Mexico. When did you go to Mexico, Jamie?
It's been probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah, about 2 years ago. It was family down there?
Family trip.
Okay. Do they live you said they live in a pretty big city?
I'd say so.
Okay. But Jamie said he wouldn't recommend going right now. A lot of people, but I think it's a small minority. See, I'm still trying to hold on to being an optimist. Yeah.
Right.
And believing in the
greater good.
The greater good. Believing in the humanity of humanity. Yeah. But anyway, would you recommend going to Mexico right now?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
A little dangerous?
I'd say so. Yep.
Yeah. See,
I haven't seen the news lately, but
yeah, I would call my family instead of watch the news. I'd see what they said was going on. Have you seen this show on Netflix? I watch documentaries. Have you seen Expedition Happiness?
No. Silicon Valley?
No, don't watch that. There's this show called Expedition Happiness, and it sounded like something I definitely would not want to watch, because this couple basically give up all their I guess ease of life, they
Worldly
get,
goods.
yeah, and they buy a bus, like a school bus.
Mhm.
They turn it into like an RV, and they travel they're from Germany, but they come to North Carolina and buy a bus, and they travel up to New York, go across Niagara Falls, go all the way through Canada up to Alaska,
Mhm.
go into Alaska, go into the parks and everything. They have to take their dog with them. They come back down through Canada, go down the Pacific Coast Highway, go out into Death Valley, go to Las Vegas, go down into Mexico. They wanted to go all the way down into to South America,
Mhm.
but they got they ran into some things along the way.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. They made it though. They made it. They had to fly back home though. They flew back to.
They took their bus.
They left their bus.
Okay.
They gave their bus to one of their followers. So it's pretty interesting though. Robert Brooker said, I am grateful that 10% of my gross pay was matched each week at my former employer so that even though it ended early, I do not have to go to work for another's dream. You know what? That's a good point. So if you do work for somebody who has a 401k,
Mhm.
definitely the smartest thing you can do is max out whatever amount they will match. So what Robert Brooker did right there was increase his income by 10%, just like that.
Yes, instantaneously.
Instantaneously. He put up 10% and they matched it. And the company got to take advantage of that because that is a way that they can pay Robert without having to pay income tax or Social Security.
Mhm.
Trust me. I just had a $20,000 payroll tax debit from December.
Wow.
Yeah. So I need some more PPP. $20,000 in November and $20,000 in December just for payroll taxes. Yep. I called my accountant. I was hoping, I hoped, I have a wonderful accountant, by the way. She's awesome. Yes. But I said, hey, what was this $20,000 for? And when's the next one coming? She said, that was for December. Remember, we had to do this, this, and this. Yeah. Did you remember November was just like that? Anyway, taxes. Colby says, read what Colby said. You have better eyes than I do.
Let's see. Jeff Bezos' wife is a prime example of charitable intentions with bad outcomes. She donated several billions to random charities in the name of good, but could have written nearly $50,000 checks for each Amazon employee for the same amount. Why not reward those that help build your empire? Loving this conversation, though. Keep up the good conversation. Ex-wife. Haha, my bad.
Yeah. So she gave, I don't know, because maybe Colby, I don't know the answer to your question. I don't know who she gave billions to.
But to play devil's advocate again.
Well, maybe not even devil's advocate. Maybe just to question. Maybe to question. Maybe to be Colby's devil's advocate there. Right. $50,000 to the employees. On one hand, I agree. Yep, I'd rather pay them than pay the wrong charity. But maybe there was a big need outside of the family or the group that works at Amazon. Maybe she was trying to repopulate the Pacific Ocean with fish. Maybe she was trying to get the plastic out of the ocean. By the way, if you want to know my newest soapbox, it is the plastic in the ocean. I made fun of people with paper straws. I don't ever want a plastic straw again. I was in Jamaica and I saw plastic washing up on the beach like I was at a, like in a trailer park, not at a, in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean. So
it's terrible.
Yeah. So maybe Colby, maybe she was trying to
get the plastic out of the ocean.
So I have an idea about that. Plastic in itself is not harmful, so maybe we should just chip up all the plastic, very small pieces, and just
put it in the ocean.
It's going to float. That wouldn't be good, would it?
Well, you can make islands that way.
Here's what you do. You chip it up into small pieces. Okay. Or first of all, you just got to collect it. You got to get all of it and collect all of it and put it in some recycling plant. Now, then here's what we do. We have to reconfigure that plastic back into bottles. That's the easiest solution, is turn it back into bottles.
Isn't when you heat it up, though, when it becomes toxic?
I don't know, because I thought about just burning it. Because, like I used to burn tires. That's terrible. Isn't that bad for the air?
I think so.
So I'm not going to burn any more tires. But if you have, here's what they do with tires, and I think you do it with plastic. I think you say when you heat it up, that's when it becomes toxic.
Well, I say when you put stuff in the microwave, like plastic in the microwave, that it's toxic and it messes up your food.
It can be returned to oil. Robert said it can be turned to oil. All right. And you're talking about contaminating your food now. I'm trying to save the environment. You're over here talking about microwaving your food. If we can take the plastic and heat it up, maybe if that doesn't cause people to die or get sick, then we can heat it up, turn it back into some type of oil or some form, and then chip it up. And then use it for.
You're going to chip up the oil?
No, that's a hard plastic. But like if I want a solid block of plastic, okay, you chip it up, run it through a chipper, and then you can use that for
football fields.
Possibly, you could possibly do that, but you could definitely use it for like the foundation of a highway or a road. Because see, right now they use gravel. Okay, gravel. They dig it out of the ground. It takes tons of fossil fuel to dig all this out of the ground, and they haul it around in these big trucks that's spewing gas, carbon to the air.
Yep.
And then they put the gravel, and then they cover up all this beautiful gravel with asphalt or either concrete.
But what Robert says right there just killed that whole idea.
Well, let me finish before he kills it. Then we can use that plastic to drive on, and we can use that plastic to you can put it in septic tank lines. You can use it in drain fields. So instead of
drain fields, may be the way to go.
You chop it up. Just chop up. Maybe you don't even have to heat it up. Just take all the plastic and run it through a massive shredder, and you get plastic
shards of plastic
confetti, plastic confetti, and then you put a tarp over it and you haul it with an electric dump truck to the job site, and you use it in drain fields, like when they're draining the Everglades and stuff like that. They can use that plastic to pump that water out of there and have drain fields. Plastic drain fields. What did Robert say?
Robert said, when we used to make plastic travel mugs, we only used virgin polyethylene. The molecular structure changes when you reuse it. It won't be as strong. That would be the problem with your roads.
No. How's that a problem with the road?
Because it won't be as strong when the molecular structure changes.
I got a feeling
if you're driving big trucks over something, you want it to be as strong as possible.
Drain fields, septic tanks.
Perfect.
Do the same thing with tires. I've seen them do it with tires before. You chip up the tires, and instead of using heavy gravel, you use light plastic and stuff that takes 10,000 years to
go away.
I think that's it. Turn plastic into drain fields and roads, foundation for roads. Just don't heat it up. Just chip it. Chip it. They do have plastic studs and tires here. Okay. So we went all over the place. The main thing is you need to be aware of money and where the money comes from. Money comes from solving problems. And some of the problems that we tried to solve here at the end of the show, it's a good thing we did the end first.
Yes.
And we'll go back to the beginning.
Okay.
There's a problem. People can't get out and about like they used to. You have to communicate with them in a very convenient way. The best way to do that is through text message.
Yes.
You need a very small, it's not even Feel Good Friday. And I feel like I've been drinking winter lager or something. Anyway, you need very much technology that you can communicate with. You need a platform. DigiNinja comes to mind.
It does.
So
where you can have meaningful conversations with real people.
And yes, and you can store those meaningful conversations. They are your conversations. They're not going anywhere, and you can manage those. You can curate an audience. How is that?
Very good.
You can curate an audience.
Impressive.
Okay. You can manage that lead. curate your audience, and you can convert that meaningful conversation into a customer who shows up and buys. Every customer starts out as a lead. There's some people that like to call the leads customers. They're not customers. They're leads.
Right.
They're leads. Mm-hmm. We have to have a clear definition. Can't call them customers yet because they haven't bought. You can call them future customers.
Potential customers.
Potential. But that's like potential customer. 5 or 6.
Way too many syllables.
Yeah. It's called leads. Lead number 1. All right. If you would like more information about DigiNinja DigiNinja text management system, do you remember my number?
904-944-7432.
Text Billy, or better yet, call Billy at 904. You're going to put that up there for us, Jamie? He's trying to find the Monday Morning Money Show. There you go. We're going to I want you to test this for me, okay? Test me and tell me, does my number work? Did you give me feedback? Colby, if you're still watching, Robert Brooker, everyone who's commented, everyone who's watching, text
904-944-7432.
7432. Jamie, put that on the board for us, please. There it is. 904-944-7432. You can say, hey, Billy, tell me about that plastic plan you got. You can say, hey, Billy, tell me about DigiNinja Chat. Tell me about a Facebook event. Hey, send me a hat. Send me a T-shirt. Send me a mug. No plastic. Glass only.
Glass mug
or ceramic. No plastic. Okay. So text me and see if call that number. Call 904-944-7432. I need to go update my voicemail real quick.
Yes.
So they can hear that. All right, guys. If you want a text platform that's badass, that will help you sell way more of whatever product you have. By the way, I think in 2021, we need to shift and pivot.
Branch out.
Yeah. Just leave the car business in the dust. Focus on
leave the car business in the dust.
Leave it in the dust. Focus on apparel. Focus on department stores, office supplies, art. Sell art through text message selling
and collectibles.
Knickknacks. Studio equipment. Now, I will say this, Joey. One of the smartest things you can do is get a text number for your business.
Yes.
The next thing you need to do is learn how to market that. What I would do is I would contact me or Joey and say, hey, I want to produce a podcast. I want to produce a show that explains my business. And then I want Jamie and Smith to take that 1 hour conversation and chop it up into 10 promo videos that I can put on all of my social media platforms, including TikTok,
Snapchat,
the Chinese network. I think that it's at the end of the show now, so it doesn't matter. I think that Donald Trump should get on TikTok. How amazing would that be? After he said that he was going to ban them in the United States, I bet they would ban him so fast.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump needs a TikTok, just for entertainment purposes only. He probably doesn't know that you can do it without the music. You don't have to do the little dances.
Right.
You can just.
You don't have to do the dances?
No. I've been on TikTok. You can follow me on TikTok. Search for Billy W. Merritt, but you're probably going to get somebody that's not really me. So I don't know how to tell you to find the real one.
And that person has about 30,000 female followers.
Yeah.
He's
asking for money from all of them. Listen, I don't want your money. I want your business.
That's right. I want to help you.
I want to help you solve a problem. If I can help you solve a problem, you'll give me money. So text me 904-944-7432. That's it. That's a wrap. Thank you, guys. I appreciate every one of you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting. You're the best.
Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow.